Hello and welcome again to Libation. Um, every time I say this, and maybe it's like I sound like a broken record now because I say I have a special guest, and I do. But this person is my sister, um, a friend, a sister, someone that I think that everyone watching this particular episode will be delighted to see and hear from. She has a lot of stories. She's a political juggernaut. It's a she, okay? Yes, she's a she. Political juggernaut. She's a public servant. She's a businesswoman. She's someone who has really been integral to the modern history or story of what Enugu State is today. And so today is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome Chief Rita Mbah. Thank you for accepting to join us today on Libation. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. So just to, Libation is really a show that we've put up just to discuss, what it means to be an Igbo person living in Nigeria today. We have conversations with my guests around life in the Southeast, life in Enugu, growing up, your take on life, your take on art, culture. And since you're someone who's very particular in the tourism sector, we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. We'll talk about our culture. Obviously, you've been tourism commissioner and also culture as well. So you see why today's episode is extra special, extra spicy. Because I think that we've also had so many men. So it's always for me, it's always an honor to have a woman join us on this show. And this one is a particularly beautiful woman, as you guys can see. So to me,
Thank you.
It is my honor
Thank
and
you.
privilege. We have a tradition here, though, to sort of offer every guest some cola. As in maybe I been mad again cola to signify peace.
Thank you very much.
So thank you. Also Ojidekwa, because those who want some.
Thank you.
We should pour libation. Where my producer is, we'll be back in a second. So when we come back, we'll complete our ritual of offering a little bit of libation to our ancestors, indeed the people who have gone and are looking after us, and then we can continue our conversation proper. So please stay tuned. Join us in a minute or so. Thank you. So welcome back. Just before we went on this break, we realized something. We had nothing to pour libations with. So with the power of TV, as God has blessed us with, we now have the schnapps. So it was a ritual. We have to first. See me again. I want to make another mistake. And our DJ to take small.
All right.
Yes. It might seem like a little thing. Some people often joke, doing this, people joke about it. But the thing is, as I found, even Europeans, the Nordic countries, Scandinavians, they do this all over across Africa. People always do a salute to the gods or to their forefathers. So, and it's something I'm beginning to enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So salutes.
Yes. So that salute, what is it called when you do that?
It's
Isn't it libation?
It is libation.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
I was
it is
thinking
libation.
about it.
So it's the way of really honoring ancestors who have gone, and for us as Igbo, indeed as most Black Africans, the concept of time for us is not linear. To Europeans, the concept of time is today, tomorrow, the day after, or yesterday, today, the day after.
Yeah.
For us as Africans, it's secular, cyclical.
You poured quite a bit.
For us, so that our conversation will flow better.
Oh my goodness.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It is strong.
Very strong.
But so we've done our due diligence.
Okay.
Now it's to enter conversation proper. My first question would be, I have a series of questions, but this first one is really, really something that I think that resonates. There's a time you came to my office. I don't know what you're talking. We're talking about stuff, and you said, "Oh, that you know my sister Obi."
Yeah, you're right. That's
Yeah,
true.
you went to school with her.
We were friends in school. You know, we went to Ekulu Primary School together, and I remember walking a couple of times to your house in GRA. I think.
Yeah. I think
somewhere,
Chimelen, yeah.
yes, somewhere off Abakiliki Road.
Yeah, that's
yes,
true.
and I remember that she was in the marching squad. She used to lead the marching at one point.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Yeah, so it was really nice those days, and I remember seeing you once or twice, but you know, older brother kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah. This was an interesting time. I think I was on. My father had sent me marching back to Enugu because I didn't do well in my first work. So he needed to take me away from my Lagos friends and bring me to Enugu to come and concentrate to cool off because my head was. So yeah, those were great times. Actually, I have very fond memories of those days in Enugu.
Yes, those were the 042 days. You know?
Yes, we used to have a lot of parties, and I was like an aspiring DJs, and I used to want to. Yeah, I used to want to just.
What I really enjoyed about those times is the fence. You know, all those fences in GRA, they were really low fences.
Yeah.
There wasn't any security issues. Lots of mangoes around town. You know, you could go to somebody's house. When you get there, when they're seeing you off, they will now see you off again to your house.
Yes, and you come back.
And then you come back again. You know, I don't think those things happen anymore these days.
Yeah,
you know?
and I was telling someone, I think an old friend of mine on the show, we talked about going to the State Library, just by that roundabout, P&T roundabout, just next to it. And
the British Council.
And the British Council.
By Otigba. Yeah, those were nice days in Enugu.
Yeah. But those days, and even in Naji Park in New Haven, Upper Chime, those days seem to have. Are we being extra nostalgic, or would you say that those days? I mean, it's always good when you look back. You know, it's always, as they say, you know, when you look back, it's always 2020. But would you be willing to say which one has been better? The old days or
those days were definitely better. If our kids could experience what we experienced those days, I believe they will be better off in the society, believe me, because parents now don't even have that chance to show their kids what it means to be traditional, what the culture is all about. You know, the social media has taken over. Because those days, we had loads and loads of norms. There were things you couldn't do. You needed to behave in a particular kind of way. You have to greet your elders in a particular kind of way. And every Christmas, everybody goes to the village.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. Then during Christmas, you have the masquerades within town. You have the kids that wear, the girls that wear their banded tops to cover their top and the small skirts with the jigida. And then they go from house to house to dance for people. And they give them as little as 50 naira, 10 kobo, 20 kobo, and they were very happy with those kind of things. I don't think kids interact anymore these days.
I think the age of cell phone has sort of shrunk our worldview in a practical sense. In a sense, people say, "Oh, I know what's going on in America. I know what's going on in Ukraine, in Israel, in Philippines. You know, because of the mobile phone."
What has that got to do with us?
But
as a
proximity to oneself in a physical sense in a city like this seems to have shrunk. And it's interesting you pointed out about this thing called jigida, which is funny how society has moved. That you could remember how in those days people will wear those things and it was not seen as, because now if you see a young girl wearing it, you get to people now say, oh maybe go, why is she wearing, or it's something fetishes, you know, they fetishize it. But in those days it was pretty much the norm that young women had it, and it was not, in fact you were expected to have it, you know, but today it's just it's turned 180
Except
degrees.
you're acting a movie in Nollywood.
That's the only time you have
doing a dance. You can't really wear it out these days. It's not normal anymore. But I don't think those days people were wearing those jigidas just to move around. It was
it was for events. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I get what you mean. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
This is for me. I've always wanted to ask you this question. You've been an institution in Enugu state politics. No, true. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
you
Don't
are.
go there.
No, just a little bit of it. I mean, you've been a commissioner, and today you're a member of the PDP Board of Trustees.
Yes.
And probably amongst the very few women to be. I think I know that my auntie, the what's his name now?
In Jersey.
No. She's in Jaba.
Jersey. Is in
Jersey.
Jersey.
Okay. No. I was referring to Anani's Lolo.
Oh, Josephine Anani.
Josephine.
She's still a member of
She's
the
still
DOT.
a member. Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's still a member.
Wonderful,
of the
strong
DOT.
woman. And I see some of that characteristic in you. You don't take no. Because I've seen you angry one day.
Are you serious?
Yes. I was like,
No.
whoa. Look at.
I don't say that.
You look so
it
beautiful
must
and
have
so
been
calm.
maybe once in a year thing.
I saw
I don't
it.
know how you witnessed
I
it.
saw it. I'm like, I never want to cross. I never want to be on the wrong side of
Are
this
you
woman.
serious? Where was that, first of all?
It was at what do you call this place where they do match pass? What do we call it?
Opera
Square.
Oh, okay.
There was an event going on, and you lost. You were. Okay. I don't know what triggered it, but you were upset.
What happens? I don't like it when people don't do what they're supposed to do, especially when it's time bound.
Yeah.
And when it's an event. To manage an event, you have to be on point, because if anything goes wrong, it's either the governor will be embarrassed or the state will be embarrassed. And sometimes people take up duties that they are not able to carry on. And then I'm not even supposed to be there in the first place. You're supposed to give out those jobs, go back home and relax, and then come back to see that everything is okay.
No, you don't want to do that.
I don't do that.
You don't do that in Nigeria.
So whenever I'm charged with the responsibility, I make sure I'm on ground. I am hands-on on anything I'm doing. So sometimes when you see that maybe I scream at somebody, at the end of the day, I still bring them back. I say, sorry, you know that this is supposed to be. That is no.
I just saw because in all the time that I've known you, I've never seen you. You're always so soft-spoken. So but that day I saw like, I said, whoa. But I'm like that too. People always say, Emeka is such a quiet, gentle person, and then when they see the other side, they're like, no way, he can't be like that.
There was a lot of shouting at the Unity Christmas Park event, because I was the creative director for that event. And we had 2.5 months to put that thing together. And I had over 100 people on site to make it work.
Yeah.
And we resumed work 8 a.m. We closed at 2 a.m. I shouted until I lost my voice.
Because I knew that a few days before Christmas when we met, when we came to, I came with Kobino, we came to, your voice, you had literally lost it.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a minute. We have to sell our market. In my house, Afia TV. So we'll be back in a minute. See you guys soon. I'm Afia, and we're back. We're back. You're still watching Libations on Afia TV, channel 254 on DSTV and Go TV, channel 17. It's lovely to have you join us again. Today's episode is special because I've got my sister. Very often people say, there's this joke, there's a mutual friend of ours that says that, because we're both in Mbahs, that says, and our governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mbah, is in Mbah as well. So there's this story going around that Governor Mbah, he's put you, his sister, as, and because I heard it somewhere in Lagos, a friend of mine said, he's now put Emeka Mbah as Afia TV so that he will control. I'm like, okay, how do I respond to that? It's often said we have this relationship that because of name, because we have the same, and yes, our color is the same. I want to go back to the question I was sort of, because we didn't really get a response at that time. Okay. You're a heavy player. You're a stakeholder, as they say, in Enugu State politics, an institution. And it's not possible to mention Enugu State, especially PDP, as a political party here, which is the dominant political party, and not come across your name. And even on top of that, at the national level, you were, a distinguished member of the PDP Board of Trustees. But as a woman, there's very few. Politics in Nigeria, as everybody knows, dominated by men, and here you are, how has it been? How have you been able to sort of navigate the currents of, dealing with men, dealing with the politics, because politics can be brutal. Yeah. It's something that I like to observe from far.
This is $1 million question.
We don't have millions, but we can pay you small. We can pay you small money. We want to hear this.
To be quite honest with you, it's $1 million question, because it's so surprising even to me, myself, that I'm able to achieve what I've achieved. It's just by the grace of God. You see, first, I'm an introvert. I'm actually a bit of a recluse. I came from a background of being a technocrat into politics. When His Excellency Barrister Sullivan Chima appointed me Special Advisor on Intergovernmental Affairs and the Multilateral Partnerships, I was living in Abuja. And I worked from Abuja as the person in charge of the liaison office.
Okay.
And you won't believe it, I attended Executive Council meeting every week for 4 years. And I missed only 2 of those Executive Council meetings. Why am I saying this? My philosophy is that wherever I find myself, you give me a job, I treat it as if it's my own personal business, as if it's my own personal job. I make sure I make myself indispensable. And how do you do that? By putting in your best. If I get a job, I sleep it, I walk it, I talk it, I immerse myself into it. And I think that's the main thing that has been able to keep moving me from this administration to the other administration. So no matter what people around say, the person you're working for understands the level of your competence and what you bring to the job. So I think this is how I've been able to move from one administration to the other. And I don't know if you realize that I have not really gone for any political elective position. That's because Adama like Ihana, so I don't like anything that people struggle for. I like a situation where if you see me that I merit this particular kind of thing, you now move me to that level. Because I don't believe that if we are meant to struggle, that I would actually get it. You understand what I mean? So, and that's.
So you're a bit like, is it a political?
I'm a political technocrat.
Political technocrat, yes, that's the phrase I was looking for.
We do the politics, and when it's time to work, we leave the politics and we face the work.
I mean, you've started this new initiative, this program, Destination Enugu. As executive chairman of the, is it chairman?
Executive chairman.
Chairman or chairperson.
Chairman of the Enugu State Tourism Board. Well,
so that's I mean, like, you have this. I'm often wary when I say a woman in that official capacity, because that's an official capacity, chairman.
Yes.
I don't think that our framers of our laws and constitution have quite, distinguished this thing that, in some other places they say chairperson or chairwoman or something. But anyhow, you are
I'm still
chairman.
A woman.
Yeah, you're a chairman who's a woman. And you did something that I was so proud of as an Enugu person, which was the Christmas in the Park, which is a magnificent initiative. Because the reason I say this is that, at least recently, we've had insecurity that's pervaded Enugu. There's this sense of doom and gloom. You heard during Christmas, oh, don't come back, Enugu is not safe, or don't this, or people, where do we go? And then you took the bull by the horn, and the park that looked as if it was just moribund. You managed, at least I came there a few times to come and see the progress, and even our crew came as well. You did something that was unique, putting the place as a destination for people to come to and enjoy Christmas. And I saw the amount of work. In fact, that was where I saw you screaming at one of the workers to get them to do something, I believe. How has it been with that experience of running, that particular event during Christmas period. And of course, this new overall initiative of Destination Enugu. Would you say that tourism, because it appears that tourism in Nigeria is often go and lodge in hotel, or business tourism, as you call it. Should we be expecting more from the Enugu State Tourism Board with respect to Destination Enugu and this new Christmas thing?
Yes, I think so. It's not going to be easy. What you find out that we have on ground is not very encouraging in terms of the staff and the manpower to deliver on your creativity. It's a bit difficult, but I've been able to navigate that path. That Unity Christmas Park came barely a month after my appointment. Yeah. I thought about it. I decided to do it. That's why they say if you can think it, you can do it. Done, yeah. I brought in my people and I told them what I wanted to do. I remember the manager, the lady I appointed, the manager of the project or the manager of the park, said to me that this project is too ambitious and that she doesn't think I could pull it through. So I like challenges like that.
That kind of challenge.
Yes, yeah. So I said to her that it's possible. And I told her how we could do it on paper. And we set out. She was quite supportive. Her name is Ifeinwa. She was quite supportive and we got it rolling. I brought in my people, my welders from Lagos, about 10 of them. They employed another 10 welders from Enugu. And then we started fabricating the metal works. I started creating the ideas. I brought in the electricians. They employed some electricians in Enugu. We started tying the lights. You see, the creativity was happening on spot, real time.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, as if somebody said something to me in my dream. I get into the park. In fact, I don't sleep well. As I go to bed, I'm inside the park.
Yeah,
in my
mind.
dream.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I now go to the park, and I start implementing what I thought about the night before. It was, I don't know whether to say it was highly spiritual, because I think creativity is spiritual.
It is.
Somehow.
It is. You're tapping into a consciousness that is divine. So it is spiritual.
Exactly. So we started creating it. And just like magic, it was coming together. And the day we lit up the place, I was like, wow, we did it.
I'm hopeful that this year's zone will be even bigger and greater.
Okay, let me shock you. We haven't stopped production.
Okay.
After last year, January, I told them they would come back April. They came back April, and we've already started fabrication. So last year was like the front part of the park. So this year is going to be the whole half of the park. So maybe next year it will be the whole of the park. So we already have ideas, and this year is going to be better because we're doing up the recreation center for the kids. And His Excellency the Governor has just approved that the Kiddies Park be equipped with recreation equipment, those swings and slides, all those type of stuff. So that's what we're doing at the moment. This year's event will be better than last year.
Certainly, I'm looking forward, because he gave a lot of people, I saw families coming there, just feeling like Christmas. Christmas is a wonderful spirit.
Okay, now let me shock you. Do you know that during Christmas, people were saying Enugu people travel out for Christmas, they go to their villages and all sorts. But surprisingly, on Christmas Day, we had 3,000 people in the park.
That's huge.
That was on the 25th. On the 26th, we had about 2,500 people. And I was like, where are they coming from? Then the people in the village started hearing about what was got wind of what was going on in the town. Because they were seeing on social media, Unity Christmas Park. By the time it got to like the 2nd of January, the park was full. And people really enjoyed the Masquerade festivals that happened
it's brilliant. It's a brilliant initiative, and I'm certainly hopeful that even we as Afia TV that will extend our partnership and continue to work with you in that. I have a question before we go on our next break. It's a double-barrel question. Let me
Maybe I have to drink my wine
let's
before
drink.
this question.
Yes, because it's a serious question.
Serious.
You know that for those of you who don't know, she's also a chief.
Oh.
She's a chief. And so I have to segue into this because, you know, this show it's also about culture. It's about tradition. It's about being Igbo. Or at least, you know, dealing with Igbo people. That's because the show is not just about Igbo. Sometimes we bring people from Hausa people, Yoruba people, Cameroonians, whatever. We just want to find out what your relationship, like how you see Igbo people. You're a chief.
Without coronation.
What does that mean?
I didn't get a chieftaincy coronation title. The Igwe of my village just gave me a letter saying that they are giving me this chieftaincy title, gave me a name. And then Adeje Jemba.
Oh, correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
nobody even knows that.
Who are non-Igbos who are watching this show, Ada Eji Ejemba literally means the woman, and not just the woman, the fine woman that we used to go far, to go to other towns to make ourselves known, so that other people will know us. That's it, Abi.
Yes,
kind of
that's
literal
it.
meaning.
That's it.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it.
Yes, but that one is different from the other one of the masquerade stuff.
Oh, you do, eh? You have?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Okay. You said we were going to go on a break.
Hey, she has taken over the show. All right, we'll go on a quick break. This one, 30 seconds. We'll enter market small, drop something, we'll come back. We'll join me in a bit. We'll be back shortly. Let's stop up. Yeah, we'll be back. So we're back again. Libation. This episode, you know, there's a story that I heard off camera. And the story is just like something that you guys need to hear because my guest today, she's not just a dame. She is not just an honorable commissioner. She's also a chief. A chief. It's not a small thing in Igbo land to have a woman who's a chief. But the funny thing is, in Igbo culture, we also have a rites of passage where women become men. In fact, where you get to a point where there's really no gender. You're just a person. So that is part of our culture. And so, madam. But this person, this is my guest today. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. She's also one of the few people, if not the only woman I know, that has, become an Mbah herself. She has been initiated into the masquerade, the Igbo masquerade.
Yes.
Will I say fold? Some people will call it.
It's fold.
It is. Yes. I don't want to use the other word because it sounds a bit dodgy for people who choose to misunderstand our culture. It's very rare because when I was telling you off camera that I saw a clip of it online. Either online or somebody's IG. I don't know when. Like a year or two ago, I was. No, it was not a year. It was recently. It was this year. I started following you on Instagram.
Okay.
And I think it was after you had come to the office. I was looking for your Instagram. I forgot to say to you to get it. So I typed your name and I was going through the explore search thing. And when I did, that's where I saw this clip. It will mount. You're a masquerade.
I think I need to sip wine before I tell you the story.
Tell us the story, how you became, because I heard first of all, it started from some presentation you did in government to get to revive the Mbah festival, Mbah Masquerade Festival.
All right. While I was Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, I came up with this concept for the Mbah Festival. I took time to work on it. I met with Oga Peter Doche. I met with His Excellency Agobozo, the head of the Traditional Rulers Council. I met with some local government chairmen. And then I sold my idea to them. I said, I want to do the biggest Mmong festival in the history of Nigeria. While Calabar Festival is happening, what I want to happen here is a Mmong festival. And they were okay with it. So I worked on it until it got to a particular point, and I introduced it to government. But to my surprise, it was opposed by men because I'm a woman.
But you had spoken to Igwe Agubuzo, who himself is a custodian of tradition. So if he had anything, he would have told you, and so you were surprised.
I was surprised, because I know that being a woman, it was going to be difficult to sell that idea. I now got respectable men in the society like Peter Edochie and Agubuzo.
But does that mean that a woman cannot come up with an idea for a festival? You're not the one running the Masquerade. Yes. You are an executive. You are a commissioner for culture.
Unfortunately,
you hold the power as a commissioner. You're overseeing all cultural activities within the state. So when I get and they're going to invite, you can observe. I mean, I don't know, but
but then I knew that in Igbo land it was a taboo. It is a taboo for a woman to mention anything about Masquerade. That was why I had to
mention it or be part of it.
No, to be part of it. To
be part of it.
To be part of it, But
I
can mention it.
Yes, of course you can mention it.
Yes, and as a commissioner, I could mention it. I did my groundwork. But that didn't help matters because when I presented it, it was not taken well. It was not well taken. And it was really opposed. And in fact, I had Glow coming in to say they were going to give us 100 million.
To support as sponsors.
You already had tied up sponsorship. I had sponsors. I had everything.
Oh, wow.
So when it was opposed, I went back to the people that I was already in the committee with, and I told them what happened. And everybody was like, well, there was nothing they could do. And then my dad came, because my dad was now instrumental in bringing in the Masquerades together, telling them that this was going to happen and all that. I wasn't communicating with the Masquerades and the Masquerade direct. Yes, it was my dad. So when my dad came for our meeting and I said to him, this was what happened. In fact, he didn't respond to me. He went back and he came back the next weekend and said to me that my people said that because of this, that they were going to Bamon. They were going to bring. I said, what does that mean? I don't want that. Fetish. My dad said no, that it was like an honor, that in Igbo land that you get to a particular age, that you can be given such an honor, but that I wasn't up to that age, but they could do it because of the circumstances that brought about this, because they knew that I wanted to expose that tradition. And because of that, they would just go far and beyond to bring me into the Masquerade fold. And I didn't pay much attention to it. And just like joke, I agreed after a while. And then we went to my village. Half of the traditional rulers of Nkanu East local government were there live. I think I invited only about 20 people. And they did the stuff. And the whole masquerade in my village, they came out. Omaba Masquerade. They danced. I danced with them. And I could remember, I was like, God, I don't understand this. They said masquerade is very fetish. I had my chaplet. I was just praying. I was praying all the while.
But nothing happened to you.
And that night, I couldn't sleep. I said, no, if you close your eyes, you'll start seeing masquerade. They'll start chasing you. I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Not because I was seeing anything, but I was just scared, because of what they had told us about masquerade.
Because how we've grown up to see certain things as I mean, masquerades in Igbo tradition.
And I slept, nothing happened.
Yeah, masquerades in Igbo tradition are not really, they were like the police. And this is the historical significance of masquerades in Igbo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they were like the police of keeping justice and peace, and custodians of managing peace and order,
maintaining peace and order.
That was the role of masquerade. Okay. I think the misinterpretation over the years and the fetishization of masqueradeship, the demonization, if you were, had sort of made it. No, it's true. made them become something else. Masquerades were literally the police. They were the bailiffs. They were the Ime Puna village. If you Iluane, then they are the ones to carry out the punishment or the to enable you find resolution or restitution with the land. That was the role of masquerades. And also, so at events, New Year Festival, I think they come out to celebrate with the people. It's like what you find in Ireland, St. Patrick's, Day. People are marching past with all the floats and all the things. So when we have an event, New Yam, or someone has died who's reached a ripe old age or something, the masquerades do a procession. And that's what it was. It's not this modern day misinterpretation is something that I think that we need to. But the sum of it is that it will mount.
And
that no wonder. Me the audacity. So these days, sometimes, it's been said that
I don't know about that. So that thing.
No, seriously. When there's a saying. I don't know. I mean, you guys should bear me out on this. Maybe if you have something contrary, or if you support my views, maybe on our social pages you can say something. You have a thing where it's like if you look at some strong men, they have a visage about them. They have an aura. It's called an aura, isn't it? You have that. Aura. You have that. Okay,
I think that aura is God's gift to me, and that's why I.
No, I'm not saying it's from the masquerade.
But, that's why I gave my son that name, Ebubechukwu. That has been following me from birth. I noticed it.
Yeah.
It's actually a gift from God. The presence, the aura you have when you get into a place, it helps you. Sometimes it causes trouble.
Sometimes, all eyes will be on you because you stand out.
You find out that you need to keep telling people to calm down. You are not here to hurt anybody. You are not here to take over what belongs to anybody. Because once you get into a place, I mean, there's a bit of a pandemonium. Now, going back to the masquerade issue, that was what gave me the impetus to invite the masquerades at the Unity Christmas Park to dance for one whole week.
Yeah.
And I danced with them. And there was a little bit of talk about that. So why is this woman able to do this? What does she think?
They did not know.
Now I'm about to make money with that thing, There's a program on DSTV called Taboo. I don't know if you know that program.
I know the show.
So I wrote Taboo, and I said to them that I did something that was considered a taboo in Igbo land. I got into the masquerade fold. And I would want them to come and do a real packaged video of it. By the time I wrote everything, they said they were interested. If I'm able to do that, that's some money coming in.
Oh, yeah. So you see, break boundaries. Don't be beholden to, some of us, some boundaries we won't cross. But this one, she's a strong woman. I have, I asked you this question earlier on during this session.
Okay.
And I got an answer, but I'm a bit more interested in sort of discussing Enugu in the Southeast generally. The context in which I speak is this, that when we were growing up, we had the parks, we had the open spaces. Again, at real estate, we had those spaces. We had the library, we had the zoo, we had spaces where we could, as young people, express ourselves. Just play football. Socialize with women. My first social experience was going to the library to hang out. We don't quite, and as Enugu, Enugu is the eye of the East. Those spaces are not available anymore. Is there something, because every time I've had someone here, I've always asked, you can't build a modern city that is too sharp at the edges, which is why I think that tourism, culture, recreation, it's a very, very important aspect. Is there something you are going to do within the destination Enugu, within your program, I know that the Christmas in the park, it's a wonderful thing, but it comes once a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there something you want to do to ensure that those spaces return? Maybe it's not maybe it's Commissioner for Works. I mean, I don't know. But I think
No,
that it
no.
needs to return because, you know, we
No.
just talked about the use. We talked at the beginning of this show, we talked about the fact that young people don't have those spaces anymore. And maybe the reason why young people are the way they are today is because they're not being socialized, you know, enough. And the spaces that enable those socializations to come up don't exist. You know, I mean, is it only if I go to the cinema or I go to Polo Park? Even Polo Park, that used to be a park. It's no longer, it's now a mall. And we don't really have a park.
Yeah.
We don't have a park. And the same
They
thing,
do
if you go to
exist.
Owerri, you know, I mean, it's not that much different. If you go to Afia, Mbah, it's not that much different. I think it's something that I'm hoping that technocrats like you in power should push more so that we begin to have
In
space
government.
in power.
Not in power.
Okay, in government. Yeah, I agree
not
with
in
you.
power.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you have small power where you do. But you admit, Abi?
All right, the parks do exist as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the reason for which those parks were concessioned to some individuals and companies have been shattered, if you understand what I'm trying to say. I've taken a stock of about 15 parks in Enugu. Thank God we have up to 15, almost 20 parks.
No, Enugu had more parks. Enugu was designed like Barcelona. Every block had a park.
Some of those parks have been sold for residential areas.
Oh, no.
But we have at least one park in each area. I'm still trying to look for a park in Ababa. We have a park in Camp. We have 2 or 3 in Uwani. We have the Eze Park. We have the Onwudiwe Park. We have the Ejindo Park in Camp.
Yes, Ejindo. And
we have the Edward Onaji Park in New Haven. We have a park in Liberty Estates.
It doesn't exist anymore.
There's a football pitch there.
There's football, but there's no park.
All right. We have Moritala Mohammed Park. Last week, I just said I met with the Ministry of Lands. I said I wanted to know what is left of that park. We have numerous parks, but the problem is that some people without vision that these parks were concessioned to turn them into beer parlors, restaurants, mechanic workshops, and all manners of stuff. So what we're trying to do, and what we've actually done, is to rescue some of them from those people. There's a whole lot going on right now. I've sealed about 3 parks in Enugu. The tourism board sealed 3 parks in Enugu. I've unsealed 1 because they've understood
what it was meant for. Okay.
What was meant for, and they've agreed to do exactly what we want. A park is supposed to be a recreation center where the neighborhood will go for relaxation, meditation, meet up with people, exercise, and it goes a long way to tell on the mental well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree
of the people. Yeah. I remember the park that was in real estate.
Yes.
While we were growing up, we used to visit from where I was living then to real estate to enjoy the park. That is not the case anymore. His Excellency the Governor has actually given me a marching order to make sure that all the parks in Enugu are well equipped for recreation. It doesn't matter if government is going to generate revenue from them or not. His mindset is that the parks should be developed exactly for what they were meant to be. For example, let me take a case study for you. The Naji Park, we're lucky that park was not sold and built as an estate. It's still there. So as soon as I came in, immediately after the Unity Park Christmas Park event, I entered that park. We cleared it. You can believe in the middle of New Haven, there were snakes all over that park. So we started with fumigation. We fumigated it. Made sure we removed all the weed. We're fencing it as we speak. We started fencing last week. There's already a design to turn it into an amusement park. And His Excellency he's geared towards making sure it starts working as an amusement park. The Ejindo Park in Camp was turned into a mechanic workshop. It was not easy. Yeah. I had to remove all the mechanics there.
So you're the one.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, we were supposed to be doing a documentary there. Okay, Tim. Expect a new documentary on Camp.
Yes, we removed
all
the...
we went there. We wanted to talk with the mechanics and
No, we removed all of them.
which is good, by the way. I support that.
Yes, we removed the restaurants, the beer parlors there.
Yeah.
We did not demolish anything. We just told them to quietly exit.
Yeah.
And we brought the what do you call it, the map, what do you call
Master
it,
plan.
the master plan, and said to them, Oga, Madam, this is what this park is meant for. It's not meant to be a mechanic workshop. We're giving you 1 week to move. They said they wanted 1 month. We said, okay, we'll give you 1 month to move. When you move, we seal. Then we invite you to sit down with us and key into our vision. If you cannot afford to develop the parks, allow government to develop it. We'll probably give you a portion where you still be doing your business. Because
you still need some.
Because you can't fund it.
Yeah. I think this is the thing, though.
Yeah.
I've been to Obiago. Obiago had a festival a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago. And I thought it was one of the most beautiful festivals organized by the people within the locality. It was a beautiful sight. And it's so the idea was running to my head for like a New Haven Energy Park, a Jindu Park in Koka. Is it possible to get the people who are now well off, people who have made some money, who come from there? You know, just like you go to Central Park, you see benches, chairs donated by, the Astoria family, this family, the Dukes, so they can you can sort of do like a public. I'm gonna say it's not a public tender,
corporate
but
social responsibility
to say,
of
you know,
those
come
ones
and take
living
off.
around
Yeah,
that
a
area.
slide is in your name, Chief Mbah slide, Chief Emmanuel Jibuno, so that they too will
That's
feel
a good
that
idea.
we've given something back to our people, and it fits into. So you do the design. This one is this, and you put it out there.
Yes.
And I think it would be a good idea to extend that, because there are people who
them.
are well off.
Yeah, but government needs to start something first.
Yeah.
You know,
No, government needs
responsibility
to take over the place.
to take over and
make the vision.
Yes.
The things, provide the infrastructure. Maybe
Exactly.
toilets, map the place.
The chairs, the waste bins, the equipment, they've all been designed, presented, and we're just on the way to approving it, to getting approval to start implementation.
I'm looking forward to that.
Once we do that, then we can write the residents to say, you see what we're doing?
Yeah.
Is there any way you can contribute? Then they'll be happy to contribute.
Because they've seen something.
If you come to them right now and say,
no, I agree with you. There's very low trust.
Yeah.
There's very low trust in government. We still have a few more minutes. My producer stopped eyeing me as well. You know, I'm still the boss of this show. Even though I'm a presenter, I work for you, but I have powers. I have powers. If you don't know that I have powers, I will show you. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way. My powers doesn't extend like that. But I want to ask this question, though. As a politician, as a, technocrat, how do you see how the rest of Nigeria treats Igbo? Do you think, what does it mean? This is a standard question I want to always
Don't allow me to say something very controversial. You want to hear it the way I
want to hear, unvarnished, I want to hear from you.
Let me tell you something. Igbo people are like God's own people. Not that the other people are not, but there's something about the Igbo race that is quite distinct. And that is what attracts jealousy from a lot of, not just Nigerian tribes, but even from all over the world. You see, an Igbo man is very industrious. An Igbo man is very creative. An Igbo man does not give up. Do you understand? An Igbo man loves to make money. And that is all, those are the things that we are living for. So wherever an Igbo man finds himself or herself, they make an impact. I think it's gotten to a point where some people are threatened by the Igbo race. But I'm happy about what's going on now. What I think is my own personal thought is that the Igbo people have come to realize that they're actually bigger than what they are pursuing in Nigeria, to be given appointments, to be recognized for this. They have realized that they can actually come back home and create a country called Igbo land without Biafra.
Without exiting.
Without exiting.
Just create a system
Yeah.
or an economically viable place, without necessarily,
Fighting anybody,
fighting
or saying they want to leave
saying, no, no.
Nigeria.
I mean, because
No.
I also think
Yeah.
I think we do very well in Nigeria.
Yeah.
To be honest, we do quite well in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, it's been a hard road to travel as an Igbo person, especially since after the war, given the the circumstances. But I think, if you say 50 something years after the war, from 1970 to now, I think that the average Igbo man, despite the tremendous disadvantages, has done quite well. I mean, so
we're tired of struggling to be recognized.
yeah, so
because we know who we are. We know
I
what we
know
can
to say,
do.
if they don't invite you to the table,
Yeah.
build your own table,
We're
and
building it
invite
at the
them
moment.
to come. Yeah.
And you can see we have wonderful governors. Take, for example, our governor,
Yeah.
Dr. Barrister Peter Mbah. He's doing so well. Alex Soti is also
Yeah.
doing very well. Do
I agree with
understand?
you.
So it's about time. There's a revolution going on. I don't even know if the rest of Nigeria understands what's going on in Igbo land.
No, we saw that during
Yeah.
during last year's Christmas, where we saw those trend on TikTok and social media, where
About
the young
going
people were
home.
going home,
Exactly.
returning home, the homecoming.
Yeah.
Was such a big thing, especially with young
Yeah.
people showing off.
Coming
you
from
know,
all over the world, they are going to their village.
But it also set off a lot of people who were not happy.
That's
to
what
see
I'm
that.
talking
Yeah.
about. That I mean, there's that jealousy is there, but then, we Igbos really don't. I say, is
it a jealousy? Can I eat nuts on TV?
Of course you can.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not. I wouldn't call it jealousy.
Is it a jealousy that is born out of misunderstanding or misconception of who we are as a people?
It's a jealousy that is born out of understanding who we are. Better hold these people before they take over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's that part.
Yeah.
So that's envy.
Okay, exactly.
That's envy and a bit of fear.
There's no stopping the Igbo people, unfortunately, because the Igbo man is very resilient. And having fought the World War and come back with the meager amount of money that was given.
The Civil War, you mean? Yeah, and done the Civil War.
I mean the Civil War.
Yeah, and then survived that barely, and now the try. Don't you think that also makes us arrogant and pompous? Because people have also accused Igbo people of being, everywhere you go, you want to dominate. You want to be.
That's our nature, unfortunately. It's not that we want to dominate. The things we do dominate.
Shouldn't we calm down small? You know what I mean? Since we know, I'm just saying, I'm playing the other card. Since we know that people find us a bit, shouldn't we just mellow small? Say, okay, it's
just like telling us to sleep. You only sleep when you are dead, So we have to continue.
No, I mean, I get that. We fully get that, and I think a lot of our viewers get that. But we have to also contend with how people who are non-Igbos see us. But I'm grateful also that it's becoming a virtue, the resilience of the Igbo people. I mean, because you hear it sometimes amongst my non-Igbo friends, say, I sure I'm Igbo way, that, I did something, or I think Igbo spirit, follow that thing, follow that job. Because I hear from my friends say, now Igbo spirit, I follow that job, and I get them. So it's true. I hear it.
Okay, am I permitted to ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
Okay, how do you think that we can mellow down?
That's difficult too.
No, you tell me.
It's difficult. I think. Okay, this is, and this is not a solution. I think from politically, if you were looking for something on a political space, you can be politically smart to sort of hold back and sort of, be a bit, what's the word now? Diplomatic, yes, let's use that. You can be a bit diplomatic until you get what you want. That's one. But I think that when I cannot use that same example for someone who has left his village in Umudim or Nume and has struggled to Lagos with night bus and gets to Ladipo and has thrived and has made money. And then you come and tell him not to, It's very difficult for me to say. I cannot give that advice to that guy because
Unfortunately,
what he has seen through. Ujiaka Ebunji, booked engine, Corolla, Bullion, it's very difficult for me to tell him, okay, I'm quiet down. It's
Even
hard.
the rich ones are still struggling. So I think it's in our DNA.
Yeah, it's the king.
We have a sense of achievement in the process.
Yes. No, which is I think is fundamental.
Yeah.
I don't insult any other people or tribe
and we don't
or
step
sentiment.
on anybody. It's okay to
be
struggle.
yourself. Yes, be yourself. I think that's number one. That's my admonition. Be yourself. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate your culture. Be proud of who you are as an Igbo person, and then let other people see that and want to join you.
Exactly.
And I think I want to celebrate you too, because of who you are. And I think that's, like I was saying, that's one part of what I'm beginning to see.
The funny thing about Igbo people, if you don't celebrate them, they celebrate themselves.
Bam.
They're like that.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So yeah, it's been interesting.
Ooh.
Do I have one more minute? Yeah, I have a minute. I beg producer, calm down. Be coming down. Be coming down. So my last question before we end the show, I want to thank you. Time flies before you know it. Is you've achieved a lot in this life. As I said, you're a political institution, not just in Enugu State, in the South, it's nationally as far as politics is concerned. What would you like to be remembered by? Assuming the lights go out tomorrow, what's that thing that when people talk about Rita and Mbah, they just say, oh, this is the person. What legacy are you hoping to leave for generations to come?
Yeah, having come this far, I would love to be remembered for my contribution in the development of Enugu State. And I think for the first time in my political career, I've been placed in a position where I can achieve that, thanks to His Excellency Dr. Barrister Peter Mbah, my brother, who put me in the tourism sector, where my creativity would help develop the state. So I haven't done anything yet to be remembered for. I'm working towards it. Okay. So I would want to be remembered for my achievements in the tourism sector, because I work it, I sleep it, I dream it, and all I'm doing right now is trying to put things together to make sure that Enugu State becomes the premier tourist destination in Nigeria and in Africa.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Chief. Agabamo.
Thank you.
Dalo.
Oyima.
Kain Kwaniko.
Don't put this one inside this thing.
She said no, but it's our tradition here.
Oh
we always it's your brother Kobino that started this nonsense.
Oh my goodness.
Kobino is not well. Oh, sorry, I can't say this. Can I say it? Okay, I say Kobino is you don't bleep that sound. Kobino is a great guy. Kobino, you're a great guy.